This video is about displaying a shaded relief or creating a shaded relief map. To do that, we need to start with a digital elevation model. In this case, we're going to load NED_LSTX30, a 30-meter DEM. And when we display it, it's all in black and white. So our first step is to Properties, select Properties, and in Symbology, we're going to display the colors in the traditional DEM colors. And you'll see them, they're down here at this, where they move from the very light blue all the way to the white. And it has many different colors in it so that it's able to show the details of the elevation. We'll make sure the stretch is at standard deviation and at 2 standard deviations. And we'll select Apply OK, and it'll look like this, where we're showing the very high areas and the very low areas along the river and the very flat areas in the green. So it's a useful way of displaying the digital elevation model. Now what we want to do is to calculate or derive a hill shade, and hill shade is a part of our toolbox in Spatial Analysis, and where we're using a surface, and so it's a Arc Toolbox, Spatial Analysis, Surface, Hill Shade. And we double click on that tool, and we make sure our input raster is our digital elevation model. We give it some output, and the output is most logical if we put that output on our jump drive in our 6. We could call this hill shade or something of that sort. That would be logical. And in the book we call it Hillshade 1, okay, for example. And we would establish the azimuth. This is the angle that we're looking at the hillshade, and we'll leave that at 315, but we'll change our altitude to 25. So we're actually closer to the ground rather than the default, so that the mountains or the hills look more exaggerated. And we're going to exaggerate the Z factor by 4 times. So we're really exaggerating the hills. We're not only looking fairly low, so they look big, but we're also exaggerating them. Then we're going to click Apply, and we now have a hill shade that's calculated while it's thinking about it here. We'll have a derived hill shade that will apply on top of our a digital elevation model. It shows the hillshade calculating down at the bottom, and in a second it should be done, and we'll establish the transparency on the hillshade, and we'll let the colors show through that transparent hillshade. Now this is going quite slow because it's going against my jump drive, which isn't that speedy. The alternative to this would be to calculate the hillshade on the C drive or the D drive or one of your network drives that are faster, and then move it to your jump drive. But it is important to keep everything together in your jump drive. So we're 99%. Okay, so I've got a hillshade coming up now, and now this hillshade, once it's done, is something we're going to select it, Properties, and we're going to go to the Display tab and set that transparency as 50%. Okay, so it's 50% transparent, and we want to make sure that's on top rather than below, so that the colors of the digital elevation model are showing through. Now, if you put it the other way around, it's going to look confusing. And you'll notice you'll have to be on this tab, not showing the path, but to showing just the layers to be able to change the order of them. Right? You want to make sure hillshade's on top, 50% transparent, and the colors are the DEM colors showing through.